Ein wunderschöner Tag auf dem Planeten Erde.
A wonderful day here on planet Earth. I'm just about to do something really exciting today. I'm gonna shake hands with an astronaut. Strange, he's not here on Earth, but 400 kilometers above me inside the International Space Station. I have no clue if this is gonna work, but scientists here at the German Aerospace Center promised me that it's gonna work. How? Let's find out. I can't do this on my own. I need radio communication, navigation, high-tech robotics, and of course, a little bit of luck.
Mein Arm ist nicht lang genug.
Obviously, my arm is not long enough, so I need an agent. And here he is, Space Justin, a robot.
Ein Roboter. Hier steht er also in echt.
So here he is, face to face, Justin. He will help me to shake hands with the astronaut. Turn around. You see the robot, my counterpart, but still I need help from Jordi Artigas, engineer here at the German Aerospace Center. Mr. Artigas, how can I shake hands with somebody who's 400 kilometers above me?
Der 400 Kilometer über uns ist.
The idea is simple. You are in front of the robot. An astronaut from the Russian segment of the International Space Station will remote Justin's arm.
Ein Astronaut vom russischen Segment in der ISS hat volle Kontrolle von diesem Roboter.
Okay, so he will control this arm. Yes, and plus he will see through the robot's eyes. But here's the point. He will not only be able to see, but also feel what you do. So as soon as you shake hands, he will feel the forces on his side, just as you will on the robot's hand.
Die Kräfte, die Interaktionskräfte spüren, genau wie Sie sozusagen.
Okay, so I will hopefully get the feeling of shaking hands with a human. Right, and this is a world premiere. We have done this in the lab, but for the first time we will do that from space.
In anderen Kontext, aber zum ersten Mal machen wir.
So this will be the first tele-handshake between an astronaut and a human on Earth.
Handshake zwischen einem Astronauten und einer Person auf der Erde machen.
Out here lives the vision of the scientists, much more distant than the ISS. Someday humans want to go to Mars. But a human landing has to be prepared. Robots could do that, but they are hard to remote from Earth. The idea, why not let humans orbit Mars in a spacecraft? They could remote robots on the surface much easier as they're almost there. But they need sensible hands for the gentle touch. The technology is available. Okay, so I sit here.
Das ist unser Head-Mounted Display.
Okay. These two arms react to each of my movements, and they provide me with a feedback.
Erstaunlich.
That's amazing. I can look up. On Mars I would probably see Earth far, far away. And when I look down, I can see the surface of Mars. Perfect to control my robot.
Ja, man hat ein sehr gutes Gefühl mit diesem Arm.
So you get a pretty good feeling with these arms. Now I'm curious if that happens in a minute when I can hopefully really shake hands with the astronaut. Because that's really important. If you imagine you remote a robot on the surface of Mars, you have to be sensitive.
Sehr großes Feingefühl.
Okay, now I got a good impression of the vision behind this research, but for the experiment, we have a tight schedule. It takes the ISS just about 90 minutes to orbit Earth. How long is our time slot?
Wie lange haben wir dann Zeit für das Experiment?
Ungefähr 10 Minuten.
About 10 minutes. That's the time Europe can see the ISS. Behind us, we can see the trajectory of the ISS. Where is it right now? The ISS crosses Alaska, North America. In about 25 minutes, we should be able to contact.
Die ISS im europäischen Bereich sichtbar ist.
Okay, then the thrill starts. How excited are you?
Ja, es geht, aber
Level is rising.
Die Anspannung steigt.
Mr. Artigas will do some last preparations and I'm off for a good spot to experience the action.
Hautnah erleben zu dürfen.
just another 25 minutes. Last preparations up here in the ISS. For its residents, astronauts and cosmonauts, every minute up here is packed with work. Time and space is expensive, has to be used. Meanwhile, this giant 400-ton machine cruises over the US East Coast. But honestly, does this Mars vision make sense? Let's ask someone who should know. A big step down on Earth. Most experienced with Mars missions are the scientists at NASA, here at the Goddard Space Flight Center, for example, near Washington, D.C.
Hier ist der Platz, an dem ich rausfinde.
So here's the place to find out if this experiment makes sense, with Jim Garvin, chief scientist at NASA.
Jim, go to Mars, orbit Mars, and control a robot that's on Mars. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. In fact, one of the things about Mars is there's a lot of very extreme terrain, difficult places that only mountaineers here on Earth would access. We would never risk our priceless rovers, Curiosity, ExoMars in such places. Too dangerous. But those places may contain the most important rock records, things where they're so hard to get, we would need special kinds of robots to sample them, to collect the materials under control by smart humans close by, to do the work we need to do and bring it back to orbit. So one thing we've thought about, the world community has thought about, is what about first humans orbiting Mars? Using telerobotic technologies that we've tested now on the space station, from the Earth's surface up and down, with close proximity, to do the things that we can't do when we go there.
You have another problem. If you turn around and you see the current Mars rover, Curiosity, if you want to control it from Earth, you have a pretty long time delay. Indeed. So if you hit in the gas, it takes you 7 or how many minutes, couple of minutes, until the rover actually moves.
Absolutely.
Would that also be a perspective where this telerobotic would help?
Oh, absolutely. So the round-trip travel time of light from Earth to Mars is 8 to 22 minutes. So none of it is in real time. It's all pre-recorded like the movies. But that's inefficient. If something comes up, Curiosity's not smart enough to say, stop, I want that. It drives right on by. We found meteorites that way, on Mars, delivered there. But we saw there it went. So if we had that real-time person in the loop, like telemedicine needs here on Earth, on Mars, people in orbit, perhaps supported with other sub-satellites, talking to robots, we could be as if we're there through the robot. And since robotics are increasing dramatically, we could potentially explore Mars faster. And that pace of exploration is important because people, we're not that patient. So we want to learn more fast to do more. And so we think that'd be exciting.
So here on Earth, it's just a handshake with an astronaut, but it may be an application that makes sense from the perspective of scientists who actually remote rovers on Mars.
Durchaus Sinn macht. Thanks, Jim.
Sure, my pleasure. Thank you, Stefan.
The giant enters the time window. Just another minute to go. If they make contact, I'm just seconds away from my handshake with the astronaut. It's time to rock.
Do you hear me?
We're connected. Here's the setup. In the middle, Justin the robot. On the left screen, over here, I see Oleg Kononenko inside the ISS. Now it's my turn. Thanks.
Vielen Dank.
So we have a journalist from Bayerischen Rundfunk. So you will, we have a colleague, a journalist from Bayerischen Rundfunk, BR, and he will now shake hands with you as well. Please.
Jetzt ist es soweit. Hi. Good, nice to meet you. Hello. Nice to feel you too. Very good, thank you very much.
It's not only moving up and down, but also back and forth.
Das ist richtig. Links, rechts, hoch, runter.
Das ist ein kräftiger Händedruck.
That's a strong handshake.
Das ist richtig. Sie spüren auch die
And you feel the compliance of the robot. Very important for interacting with your environment.
Für diese Interaktion mit der Umgebung. Okay, wer möchte noch?
Ein
Awesome.
erhebendes Gefühl. Schon bin ich wieder draußen. Wahnsinn.
I did it. I shook hand with an astronaut. The next experiment is on. An engineer from Russia is also connected now via internet. He's much farther away than the ISS and remotes the left arm of the robot. Together with the astronaut, he grabs the blue ball, lifts it, and moves from right to left.
Jetzt wird der Ball.
They drop the ball and it's catched on Earth. Well done. Time to celebrate. The astronaut is asked to grab a glass of champagne.
Very good, excellent. And please, let's toast. Very good.
Und sie stoßen an.
Again.
Nochmal.
Excellent. I will drink this one for you. I'm afraid you cannot do that, but I will. Maybe next time on Earth.
The connection gets lost. Applause is fading out. The ISS goes on speeding around Earth, over the Arabian Peninsula, heading towards the Indian Ocean. In just 90 minutes, it will be back above our heads. The experiment is finished, leaving the engineers relieved.
Herr Artigas, ganz kurz.
Ja.
Mr. Artigas, congratulations, it worked out fine, you are
Wir
relieved.
sind erleichtert.
Auf jeden Fall.
Definitely, it's fantastic, couldn't have run better. We are really thrilled that it worked out so fine.
Wir freuen uns tierisch, dass es wirklich so gut gelaufen ist.
Also es ist schon erstaunlich.
It's really amazing, because actually I only touched a machine made out of plastic and metal. But I really got the feeling of touching my counterpart in front of me. Whereas, in front of me? Up, down? How do you say that in space? Well, you have no up and down. Anyway, I did it. I shook hand with an astronaut inside the International Space Station. See you next time.